Hello and welcome to Ball Around the Head, Game 5 edition. I thought we would be doing a Lakers celebration stream tonight, but Jimmy Butler had a couple things to say about that. This was unarguably the best game of the series. It could go down as a finals classic. It was just great basketball back and forth. But in the end, the Heat hit the clutch shots and the Lakers didn't. So one of the big reasons why the Lakers did lose, however, is Duncan Robinson, who has been struggling all series, finally got going, and he put up 26 points tonight. So, Ben, why couldn't the Lakers stop Duncan Robinson?
I mean, it was just a great individual performance. I mean, honestly, most of his looks were contested. I don't know what else to say. I mean, he looked like Klay Thompson out there. We were comparing his release to Klay Thompson because it was so quick, but just the level of difficulty on some of these shots was very high. So gotta give the credit to him. Don't know what else to say.
Andrew?
Like, you might be wondering why I'm wearing my outfit. It's because I don't want to have blood all over my actual jersey when I go beat up half the Lakers for not playing defense. Just no effort on defense except for KCP. Like, KCP is the only one that did, and I'll take this off now.
In a full hazmat suit, basically. Doesn't be listening.
Yeah, because I don't want to get blood all over my wonderful LeBron jersey.
Only people get to see these now. All people on Spotify will never know.
Yeah, but basically, no defense from the Lakers. Literally, there were some plays at the end where Alex Caruso was defending Duncan Robinson, and he looked at the ref for a second and was like, "What?" And then Robinson got free and shot, and then KCP and Alex Caruso ran into each other. Robinson got a shot. Nobody looks at Duncan Robinson, and they're looking at the ball. Then Robinson gets open to shoot. Horrible defense, except for KCP, who on like one or two possessions, was like actually looking at Duncan Robinson and playing defense. So just there's no off-ball defense, basically what it was. And you can even say that in the paint with Jimmy Butler. Like, all 5 Lakers would jump up for when Jimmy Butler would dive into the basket, and then Bam Adebayo would get a wide open dunk. So just horrible defense.
I'm going to piggyback off Ben. A lot of these shots were contested, and some of them he flopped on the release, and one of them he got an actual 4-point play. But like that's how it proved like how contested it was. He got annoyed to the point where he had to try to draw a foul so he could shoot free throws or whatever. But he got going, and this is the Robinson that was in the Celtics series that scared us. He shot 7 of 13 from 3 tonight. He actually shot 2 2-pointers, which is actually kind of a big deal for him. As you guys said, KCP was kind of the best defender, although he did have some relapses with Robinson. There was one play specific, I think it was in the fourth quarter, where he was focusing his eyes on Jimmy Butler driving, and he left Robinson wide open in the corner, and then Robinson, of course, hit it. They had a good defense, so I don't really think there's that much they can change about their defense. I feel like they've guarded.
They did not have good defense. Stop it. Don't say that. You're lying to the stream.
I feel like
I think they did have good defense.
Robinson this entire series. They every time they do that, and the Heat started to play offense like it, they double team them off it. So then every time the Heat now they give it inside to the roll man, which is either Adebayo or Jimmy Butler. Then it's a 2-on-1. Sometimes they turn it over. Sometimes it's a layup. That's what the Heat have adjusted to. Maybe the Lakers go away from that because now they realize the Heat have finally figured out what they do with the shooters. But if Robinson could hit those shots he hit tonight, that's a scary thing for Laker fans. If you guard him up into his face and he still hits them, I mean, what else can you do? There's literally nothing else you can do. So shout out to Duncan Robinson, though. He got a lot of backlash these past couple of games for horrible defense and not the best offense, but he came out tonight shooting and he played very, very well. So, I mean, I'll be lying if I say every time the Lakers lose, I don't go on Twitter just to see angry Laker fans just yelling and blaming, fire the coach, bench Danny Green, ship him off to LA again, kick him out of the bubble. But one thing I saw and I agree with is LeBron really did not that much wrong tonight. I'm going to get into one thing he did wrong, which is kind of very critical near the end. but he played outstanding tonight. He hit threes, a lot of them. Let me see real quick. He shot 15 to 21 from the field. He had 13 rebounds and 7 assists. And there's not much more he could have done, except for I'll say it when it's my turn to answer. So, Andrew, what did LeBron do different this game to make him play so great?
Well, he was shooting about threes this game, and he was actually hitting his shots. So first off, just hitting his shots and having good looks. Also, he was really he was good at kind of passing up a bad shot. He was good at getting it to AD. He got a bunch of rebounds. He was where the Lakers needed him. I'm trying to find his. That doesn't matter. But basically, he just hit a bunch of shots. He hit a bunch of threes. And, yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else to say. I mean, offensively, he just prospered because of the threes that he was hitting, amazing shots. And I knew he was going to go in every time he shot it. So,
yeah. Ben?
Yeah, he had the killer instinct tonight. Usually we see LeBron, he's passive. We always want LeBron to drive more. Like his whole career, people say LeBron needs to drive more because he can get fouled every time or make a layup. And he was in that mode tonight that he gets to sometimes where he was actually driving the ball every time in the fourth quarter when it mattered. A ridiculous 71% from the field, 40 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists. The only thing I could say would be that I would want him to be more dominant early on, not just in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And also the other thing is, I think Daniel's probably going to mention, would be my guess about taking on a particular person on the defensive end, Jimmy Butler, in the fourth quarter. Am I right?
That's actually not what I was going to say.
No? Well, in the fourth quarter, you had Davis guarding Jimmy Butler, and he was hobbled. He just let Butler go to the rim every single time. And, I think LeBron, if he was taking over, which he was, he should have taken that responsibility, or at least have someone like KCP do it. But I feel like on that night, no one else was giving the Lakers chance. Like, the moment was so big for them that LeBron was really the only one playing out there in the fourth quarter. So he kind of had to do it all, and I think he should have. But that's a lot to ask, and this was an all-time battle between him and Jimmy Butler. So yeah, it was a great game, but fell short.
Yeah, to that point, actually, now that you mentioned that, I think maybe in the moment he still trusted, because AD came back and played the game. I feel like maybe he trusted AD, but in the fourth quarter, you saw near the end, he kept on limping. He was definitely not himself in the second half. He hit shots, but I mean, it wasn't AD really. It'd be very interesting to see what happens in Game 6. I hope he plays. I never want to wish injury upon any player. That it'd be horrible for the NBA Finals if he didn't play. But it's worrisome because he looked like at first it looked like an Achilles. Thank God it wasn't an Achilles. But then it was heel that he re-aggravated from, I believe they said last series. So I mean, I have a feeling he's going to want to play on it. But I wouldn't be shocked if he didn't, because he looked like he was in a lot of pain tonight. But what I was going to say. I'll get to answer this question a little later, is the one thing that I didn't like about LeBron's game tonight, and this is what my brother Anthony pointed out to me and my dad tonight when we talked, and it was on that last possession, I guarantee you if LeBron went up, he would have got a foul call.
He passed it to Danny Trash. Oh, sorry, Daniel.
And Duncan Robinson was on him, and Duncan Robinson has been very horrible in the defensive end this series. And he passes it to Danny Green, which if
he got triple teamed though.
That's my point. He would have been fouled if he went up with it. I guarantee you they would have called a foul. Guaranteed. But they went to Danny Green, and if you look at it analytically, he shoots like 35% from three, so maybe it's a better shot than shooting over three people. But every Laker fan knew that three was not going in. Everyone knew that. I'm
going to disagree with that because Danny Green's been very clutch in past finals. Remember that shot he hit for the first?
I'm just saying, I told you, I read Twitter, and Laker fans were like, why did you give it to Danny Green? There's no way he's making it. And maybe that has something to do with his confidence. If all these Laker fans, when he misses a three, they always go at his neck, release him. He doesn't deserve a ring. Like, that's just so dumb. That
after not even hitting the rim, He literally didn't hit the rim. He does not deserve a ring. You have to hit the rim to get a ring. Like, come on, dude.
Maybe Andrew's going to speak on behalf of Lakers social media from now on. But back to LeBron, as you guys said, he kind of played with that. I don't want to play any more games this series mentality. Like, I'm done. Like, I'm going to put it all on the line right now. I put up his 40, 13 and 7 stat line, which is ridiculous. 15 to 21 shooting. Not really a lot of bad shots at all compared to a couple other games. He just took ill-advised threes. He made all of his threes tonight. I just feel like he was more aggressive tonight, and he did what he wanted to do, which is what he could do every single game. Jimmy Butler made a couple good plays on him near the end, but LeBron hit a couple clutch N1s, got foul calls. He was good, and it's really scary for Laker fans that he was that good and they still lost. And I say that because I'm going to transition to the next question. With LeBron having a great outing tonight, and the Lakers still lost. Should Lakers start panicking, Ben?
I mean, obviously not. They shouldn't start panicking. That's never what you want to do. They got to have confidence that they're going to win the next game. But should Lakers fans be panicking? Maybe. I mean, I'm quite concerned myself, seeing, as you mentioned, LeBron going off for such an amazing night and them still coming up short. They lost in the Mamba jerseys, which has never happened before. And like you mentioned before, Davis, which is with his, I think they said it looked like ankle, but I think they said it was a heel injury. I'm quite concerned about that because you saw in the fourth quarter, even when the adrenaline was still pumping, he was limping. So that's what I'm going to be watching very closely going forward. But I'd say it's time for concern, but not panic.
Before Andrew answers, the reason I laughed when you first started speaking, not because of what you said, is because I just got a notification from Bleacher Report that, and I know Andrew's going to enjoy this one, Frank Vogel called out the refs after the loss, which is kind of petty.
Which is true. No, it is actually true. I don't actually know why it's true, but it is.
On that one, but
there were some bad calls.
Andrew, should the Lakers start panicking?
As far as the Lakers team, I mean, no, because just hit your shots next time. I mean, I can go through the box scores and tell you how bad everyone shot from 3 except for LeBron James. And I can also tell you that nobody else scored except for LeBron James. So I'm sure next game, how many Lakers even play? 11 of them. I feel like at least 5 of them won't have 0 points this time, or at less than 10 points, or nobody scored this game. It was just horrendous. But Lakers fans, should they panic? Probably not, because it is just 3-2. There's still 2 more games to go. And the Lakers are pretty good off of losses. So they won the game after the loss, and then they're going to win this next game. So I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't panic.
Real quick, Elijah wrote in the comment section, just pointed out a cool stat. Jimmy Butler, the second player with 2 30-point triple-doubles in the finals, and the other player to do so is LeBron James, which is pretty cool. Thank you for that. By the way, if anyone wants to comment, we will answer your questions, and we do see every single comment. Trust me, even if we don't get to it, we do see every single comment. We appreciate you guys engaging with us. But I think I'm going to go the same route kind of ish with Ben. No-ish. I'd be a little worried, as I mentioned earlier, with LeBron's great game and still losing. It's kind of a big deal because everyone said it's LeBron AD. If they do good, they're going to win. And LeBron AD did relatively good. He scored 28 points on 9 of 15 shooting, and he also had 12 rebounds, I believe. Yeah. So it wasn't horrible. I see Laker fans were going at him saying he did horrible. He was actually pretty good. But at the same time, they need to win. They have 2 chances to win one game. The Heat need to win 2 in a row. So obviously, with odds are, I'd take the Lakers big time. But I'd be a little worried, just a little bit. It's kind of hard for Nunn to do that good because Nunn has been hit or miss this series. Last game, he was horrible. This game, he was pretty good. And to the point that the Lakers shot bad outside of AD and LeBron, Jay Crowder shot 4 of 13 from the field, 2 of 9 from 3. I didn't keep count of Hero, but Hero was not that much of a factor this game. And I heard Jeff Van Gundy the entire fourth quarter saying, all right, now put in Hero, let Hero lead the offense. And I'm just like, why? Duncan Robinson and Jimmy Butler were doing so great on offense. Why do we need to put in Hero to lead it when he was just, I don't know, made no sense. And Adebayo wasn't even that great tonight either, in my opinion. I don't think he was pretty rusty, but I feel like maybe he's like a Gordon Hayward situation last series. He's not fully healthy, but he wants to play because, I mean, it is the NBA Finals. Who knows if he'll ever get back there. But overall, as I said last stream, I'm 99% confident. This stream, I'm going to say I'm 80% confident the Lakers are going to win the title. It went down a lot because this is the game that everyone thought they would win in the Mamba jerseys. They were undefeated, and it felt like today was the day that Laker fans should celebrate. But I'm at 80%, still think they're going to win, but watch out for Miami.
Friday, man.
Just watch out for Miami. So with this win, it depends which fan base you are in. You could always look at it as the Heat did what they needed to do, or the Lakers missed open shots and the Heat got lucky. They should have lost. And, of course, there's the age-old excuse that it's the refs' fault.
I mean, you're literally you invented that excuse, Daniel. You're a Celtics fan, man.
I mean, I'm not saying it's a horrible excuse. I'm just saying everyone uses that excuse. But we're not going to go to that excuse route. We're going to go, Ben, do you think that the Heat are responsible for this win, or are the Lakers at fault?
As much as the Lakers supporting cast needs to hit their shots and needs to do better, I think they played well overall, honestly. Like, when you consider LeBron's night, that's more than you can ask on any given night. So I'm going to give credit to the Heat. I mean, Jimmy Butler and Duncan Robinson were just as good as they can be. They played a 7-man rotation. Jimmy Butler played 47 out of 48 minutes. Only 6 Heat players scored, and all of them were in double figures. And that shooting from Duncan Robinson, you're not going to get that every night. It was just amazing. But the one thing I'll say is late in the game, the Lakers had a lot of chances to close this one out. And so in that sense, they are at fault because you've got to capitalize on those. The Heat finally made the decision that LeBron's not going to beat them. And then no one else on the Lakers could. Danny Green missed that shot, and then Marcus Morris just threw it away for no reason. So in that sense, they're at fault. But overall, the Heat, I'm going to give Heat more of the credit.
Andrew?
Yeah, I'll give the Heat some credit too, just because of Duncan Robinson. He obviously shot amazing, and what Daniel was saying about how all of them scored double figures. But I'm still gonna just blame the Lakers supporting cast because, especially Markieff Morris, who just didn't score, and he's actually been scoring pretty well in the finals. I'll actually think of him as the 3rd or 4th best Laker when it comes to scoring, and he just didn't want to score today, especially when he threw it out of bounds. My brother texted me, "You throw the ball to a player, not out of bounds." And I thought that was a little funny. And I noticed when LeBron is off the court, there is no single Laker that is an offensive threat, in my opinion, that you can be like, all right, they're going to score this ball. None of them can. Even Anthony Davis can't really score without LeBron on the floor, and it's just unfortunate. I mean, LeBron, how many more minutes does he have to play? I guess he has to play all 47 of them, kind of like what Jimmy Butler did. But I don't even know. I'm just gonna blame the Lakers supporting cast for not taking it serious enough. I guess I don't even know. They literally just had to win this one game and it would be over. They had the Mamba jerseys. They just had to score and make their shots. Kyle Kuzma couldn't shoot a 3. Markieff Morris couldn't even score. Rondo, who I'm not gonna be upset with because he got a bunch of rebounds and he kind of did his thing when it comes to floor general. So I don't even only LeBron James and Rondo kind of performed okay, and also KCP actually performed really well. So but other than that, none of the Lakers did good. So I'm just gonna, even Anthony Davis, I don't think did good. But I mean, he got injured, so what can you do?
So real quick, when Ben mentioned the 47 minutes, I just want to tip my cap off to Jimmy Butler. He's not listening to the stream, but that dude is putting his heart and soul out on that court, and he was so exhausted at the end of the game. You could totally tell him and LeBron, they were just done. But I just want to shout him out. His what he's showing is everyone counted them out in 4. Then they counted them out in 5. Now they're going to a game 6. Even if they lose game 6, that's farther than anyone thought they would go. So I just want to shout out Jimmy Butler real quick. The Heat played probably one of their best games this series. Almost picture perfect. Obviously, a couple of threes could have went down for a couple other players, but Jimmy Butler was spectacular. Like I said, Adebayo and Crowder struggled a bit, but Robinson finally came to life for 26 points, which is, kind of crazy. He almost outscored Anthony Davis. Tyler Hero wasn't a factor. So, like, the Heat had some – if you want to talk about the Lakers other guys, the Heat also had some other guys that really didn't shoot quite as well. But the Lakers, man, we talk about the final possessions, but we forget to mention that they had open threes from Caldwell Pope and a bunch of other people at during the final 2-3 minutes that they just missed. And those could have been, 5-point lead if they hit 2 threes in a row and game over, series over. They'd be celebrating right now. So much as we want to blame, as our boy Eli just mentioned right now, LeBron's last shot looked kind of lazy. It did, and he could have done something more, but there were a lot more plays than that could have determined the outcome of the game. So I'm going to give credit to the Heat here. The Lakers did have some errors that they could fix next game, but overall it was the Heat's game. They played really good basketball, and the Lakers hung around, but in the end the Heat won, so I got to give the Heat credit for the win. So we're done with the NBA Finals, and we'll be back talking the NBA Finals on Sunday after the game, about 15 minutes after the stream or whatever. So we're going to talk about one-off NBA Finals topic real quick. And it's kind of a controversial one. Lawrence Frank of the Los Angeles Clippers won Executive of the Year, and a lot of people don't think he deserved it because he traded a lot of picks for Paul George that did not show up in the playoffs whatsoever. And he signed Kawhi, and then he traded for Marcus Morris, which didn't really work out. He signed Reggie Jackson, Joakim Noah, a bunch of other people, and in the end, they didn't really do that much. So, Andrew, do you think he deserves executive of the year?
Definitely not. Like, as you just mentioned, the Clippers were a failure this year, and there's no way to sugarcoat it. I don't even like using that term, but you can't sugarcoat it. The Lakers the Clippers were almost the Lakers, but the Clippers were a failure this year. And I definitely don't think this random dude that I've never heard of, Lawrence Frank, deserves Executive of the Year, especially because he traded all of their picks until 2027, right? You mentioned that a couple streams ago. So I mean, definitely just a failure, an absolute joke of a franchise, and absolute joke of a human being, I feel like, as a GM.
Whoa.
I'm just really upset. You guys, I'm just not in the best mood right now. Anyways, I feel like the Thunder's GM probably could have won it because I think the Thunder did really well this season. They got a bunch of draft picks. They got, obviously, Chris Paul. So I don't see why the Thunder didn't win it, but yeah, definitely not this Lawrence Frank guy.
Ben?
Yeah, I think we all had Sam Presti when we were talking about this in the beginning of the bubble. And I think he definitely should have won it over Lawrence Frank because, like, I know that the playoffs aren't supposed to count for these NBA awards, and that's fine. But even in the regular season, the Clippers did not live up to expectations. I mean, obviously they were injured a lot, but people, including myself, had them as the overwhelming favorite to be the best team in the league and win the title going into the regular season. But I also think that Executive of the Year award should come down to people making, smart, crafty moves. You should reward that over just, we landed Kawhi Leonard, yay, this is obviously a great roster, but, it wasn't like a chess match or something. We just got this great player, and obviously our roster is going to be great. Whereas when you look at Sam Presti and what the Thunder have done, making the 5 seed with a roster that nobody thought would be there, that meshed really well, had great chemistry, and they've set themselves up with a lot of picks. So I think it's no debate that, well, it's obviously not no debate because he won it, but in my mind, it's no debate that Sam Presti should have won over Lawrence Frank.
So I think we all agree that Sam Presti should have won. I'm with you guys. Lawrence Frank, he did make a trade, but that trade wasn't really good. Like, he got a star player, and forget the playoffs. He got a star player, but he gave up his whole future and a couple of good players in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Danilo Gallinari. And then he signed Kawhi Leonard. And with signings, I don't get why the GM gets credit as much as Kawhi kind of wanted to go to Los Angeles.
That's what I was
Exactly.
So it kind of doesn't really make sense there. But yeah, I think Sam Presti, to Ben's point, I feel like when you make these moves, at the time was criticized for AKA Russell Westbrook for Chris Paul, and you make the postseason as I believe they were a 4th or 5th seed. It doesn't really matter.
5.
But people expected them to be a top 5 seed in the freaking lottery. No one expected them to be a top 5 seed in the West. And I feel like he was completely snubbed of this award. Some people say Lakers, some people say Bucks, some people say Raptors. I don't really want to go that far. I feel like Sam Presti made the moves that, I mean, he got a future ton of draft picks. If the Clippers don't win the championship next year and Kawhi and Paul George bolt, that pick they have, I believe they have in like 2023, it looks really, really valuable. Like, that's going to be a really good pick. So this trade could very well backfire straight up if they don't win a championship next year. They're guaranteed Kawhi's probably gone. Paul George, who knows? Maybe he wants to take over a franchise himself, although that really never worked out. But yeah, I think Sam Presti definitely deserved to win Executive of the Year. Where did our special guest go?
Is he gone?
All right. Okay, take break. And now we are going to discuss the NBA Finals again, but this time we're not actually. Left. Stay tuned. Technical difficulties.
I think it's because he's on his phone, and I texted him, "Join?" ?
He's back. All right. So now, part 2. And now we are joined with Kyle Maurerman to discuss the NBA Finals. Kyle, how's it going?
Hey, good to be here, fellas. How's it going?
It's good. Andrew's going to ask you a couple questions.
Perfect.
What's up, Washington Mamba?
How you doing?
I'm glad to have you on the stream.
Glad to be
Yeah, so if I can find these questions, seem to have them lost somewhere. Yeah, so oh wait, hold on. Sorry. Why can't I find these questions? Did I not send it to you?
Okay, so I know him, so I'll just go.
Well, no, hold on. That's not how this works, buddy. I got can you tell me the question, and then I'll ask you too.
Would you like me to ask him the questions?
Wait, no. He changed it. We changed them. Wait, tell me the question, Kyle.
There's a reaction to this.
Okay, so what was your reaction to this Game 5, Washington Mamba?
I think this was a much-needed game for everybody involved, even the Lakers. But I feel like for the Heat in general, an NBA Finals can't go only 5 games, 6 at a minimum. But I mean, if the series would have ended tonight, that would have been ugly for everybody. The Lakers now can actually go back and go to the chalkboard, and they come into the game, I think, with the Mamba jerseys and everything. I think they thought they already had it sealed up. I think that was one sign. I said the Lakers had it. They were already smoking their stogies, drinking their champagne, and giving the NBA their ring sizes. And that's exactly what they were doing. And obviously that didn't work out. And they were already looking on to when their parade was going to be, and didn't work out very well for them. So, yeah.
Yeah, so you kind of mentioned the Lakers, and I do remember the second question. So you kind of mentioned the Lakers and how they were over-prepared, and now they come in for the second loss, and they just lost to the Miami Heat. So we talked about this earlier on the stream, but do you think the Lakers should start panicking, or do you find them to be worried?
There's no reason to panic yet. I mean, going into Game 6, they barely lost tonight, really. It could have gone either way. Sure, the Heat had a decent lead for a little bit, but the Lakers came back and showed, with Danny Green and everything, you guys talked about this, Danny Green was brought in to shoot 3-pointers. And I felt like when they brought him in, they would have put him in that position. And sure, when you have Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and everything, those guys are going to get the ball. But no, I think there's no reason to panic yet. Sure, you can point some fingers, and in a LeBron locker room, tensions will start to rise, I feel like. And, like I said, fingers will be pointed and they'll question certain decisions, sure. But no, for us, it's easy to say, don't panic. But I'm sure, LeBron feels a sense of urgency given his age and everything. And, Steph changes. Who knows? He could get an injury next year, and this could be his last go round. So I feel like he's got to give it all, and he has given it all. And tonight he was amazing. So no, not even a question. Don't think about it now.
To that point, real quick, LeBron James just said right now that he trusted Danny Green with that shot. So I feel like what Ben mentioned earlier, Danny Green has a two-time NBA Finals champion. I feel like I would have probably let Danny Green shoot that as well. He was wide open.
For sure.
LeBron trusted him. So I'm sorry for interrupting. Andrew, go
Absolutely.
ahead.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah. So kind of outside the finals, the Washington Mamba, as the name suggests, lives in kind of the northwest of the United States. So rumors regarding the Seattle Supersonics return with Kevin Garnett and the Minnesota Timberwolves kind of were, I'm not going to say flabbergasted, but they were flustering earlier this year. So when you heard those rumors, are you more optimistic about the chance to maybe get your beloved Seattle Supersonics franchise back? Or are you just upset and you really don't want to hear that nonsense or that yappy talk, or just you don't want to have any of that false hope?
Well, being up here and watching local news and everything, there's been no talks about any returning. About 4 or 5 years ago, there was bigger talks because they said Russell Wilson was getting involved in all these guys with not enough money, or saying, oh, we're this and that and this. And, obviously Seattle's a great city for sports. You have one of the most loyal fan bases, not only in the Seattle Seahawks, but the Seattle Mariners, who have not made the playoffs since 2001. Yet people still go to the games. I don't know.
Yeah.
Seattle's a great, city, and Kevin Garnett's a great guy, and I can hope all I want, and I can remain positive, but I've seen the article and I've read a little bit of things. I don't think there's any way that he does. I think Kevin Durant is the best option because he's going to end up having the money one day, and he obviously was drafted by the Supersonics. He's always said he kind of has a plan to get him back, and I think Kevin Durant's a bigger name, bigger dollars. I think he is the best chance, really, and that's going to be in a long time from now when he's done playing. So no.
I feel you. So I guess thanks for your answers, Kyle. Real quick, what jersey are you rocking today?
Mo Wagner, baby.
Mo Wagner Lakers. Now that is a name I haven't seen in a while.
If the Lakers win, Mo's going to miss out on the ring, and I'm going to be very, very sad. Nobody deserves the ring more than Mo.
Yeah, all right.
Okay. Well, thank you, Kyle, for coming in, and thank you for your wonderful insight. Thank you, Ben and Andrew, again, for your reactions to this unfortunate game for you guys. We'll be back Sunday, maybe around 7:15, 7:30-ish to stream our reactions to what happens to maybe we have a Lakers celebratory stream. Maybe we do not. Who knows? Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for commenting. Please like this video. Please subscribe. We're 13 away from our goal of 50. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever you listen to our podcast to. And peace out.
Lakers in 6.